Hello, my name is Julian, Luciano, and you guys know me from You and I See Different. This is another wonderful episode, okay? But this time I bring an athlete, a human being called Sophie from Austria. And I just wanted to let you guys know and let her know that I'm extremely grateful to have the opportunity to be here yet again. We're alive and we're live.
Real life.
So I always let everybody introduce themselves. So Sophie, who are you? Introduce yourself to my people and let them know what kind of a female athlete you are.
Hi, everyone, and thank you for having me. My first podcast experience. Woo, this is exciting. Yeah, I'm Sophie.
Let's
I met,
go.
yeah, let's go. We met each other in Thailand, and I think that's a good way, of how to describe myself. I love Thailand, love traveling. I'm from Austria. I'm actually originally from Bavaria. I grew up in the mountains where I started playing soccer as soon as I could walk. I love to do trail runs. I love to go on runs and do all sorts of different endurance sports. And then I moved to Austria where I studied, went to university, um, went on a bunch of different trips, and then I fell in love with Hyrox. And that's my sport right now, which I
Let's
do most
go.
of the time. Yes. So strength conditioning is
So
my
so for
life right
those of you
now.
that do not know, for those of you that do not know, by the way, Sophie is like a complete, and excuse my French, I'm sorry, but she's a badass, okay? The way that we met was extremely incredible. Like, it was the best experience ever. She was with her friend, and I was there first, and I was eating my meal. I thought I was having a very modest meal. I was having an acai bowl. And Sophie was, on her third plate, I think it was. And for her strength and for her build, it is completely needed. And Sophie, why do you like I know that you went from a transition from soccer to Hyrox, but like how did you make that transition other than the injuries that you received in the past? Like how did you get from that side to the other side and continue to train and keep that mental resilience?
Yeah. First of all, that was the
Is that a good
greatest.
question?
Yes. Yeah. And it was a great, I always have to laugh when I think about the moment where we met each other because, our dinner is always such a big thing, especially on that trip. And we kept ordering stuff and the plates would keep coming. And I remember, suddenly you were like, guys, how much do you guys eat? So yeah, food is a big thing. But, yes. So coming from soccer, which is
Totally.
amazing as a team sport, I've always loved playing soccer. I played it for over 20 years. Then I tore my ACL and then meniscus, and I had to step back from it for a while. Couldn't go on runs, which was terrible because for me it's most important. The most important part about sports is to like get out there, go on runs, get my head free of thoughts. So it was hard for me to find something else that could do that. And that's how I kind of dipped into strength training, especially for my upper body, because my upper body strength was terrible at that time. Couldn't do one push up. So yeah, I really went into that, did a lot of strength training, came back to soccer, tore my meniscus again. And then that was the point where I kind of had to step back because of health reasons and started really to fall in love with um, solo sports. And I think what I loved a lot about it is taking responsibility, full responsibility for my own performance. Because team sports, you're always in a team, you chase the same goal, you kind of depend on each other, and if you miss the goal and if you don't win the game, it's a team thing. But I've always wanted to also be responsible for the outcome myself. It's a lot different when you go out there and do your own thing. So that was something I was really interested in.
And like you say, like you're going from a team sport to an individual sport to where like now you have to hold yourself accountable for everything that goes on in that time frame or in that skill or in that exercise. And like when you were injured in soccer, so after playing football for 20 years and you realize like, hey, I need to take a step back, like what was your, as a female, of course, what is your like, what goes through your mind and saying, okay, now I need to learn either strength training, or how did that come? Like, how did you say, okay, I need to get stronger? But because here, I'll tell you why, is because here in the United States is a different culture than Austria. So I want to see like, I want to ask you more so like, does that come from like your culture where you guys are just like, you know what, let's just get stronger? Obviously, we know the world superstar from Austria is Arnold Schwarzenegger. And he's in American movies and American culture, right? I don't know if that has any influence on your culture. I mean, on your perception or anything like that. But mentioning a guy in that sport, I'm just saying it for more so the culture of Austria. That's all,
Yeah,
not
I think
comparison.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um I don't know. I For me, I think the main reason was I've always felt also while I was playing soccer preseason where you kind of are on your own, where you prepare for the season without the team, and where you get your training plan and you just go on runs and you have to accomplish different goals by yourself. That was always a big thing for me. I would always go all in and be very into it. So I already noticed, okay, this is something I really likes. And then when I had to step back from soccer, I also, I mean, a big role model for me was also my dad. He's always been into sports, and especially in Austria and Germany, we do a lot of running, a lot of trail running, a lot of hiking, being up in the mountains, skiing, stuff like that. So my goal in the end was, since I couldn't really do any impact sports anymore, where you or didn't want to, just to be safe with my knee, I wanted to find something on the long term which is still very challenging and at the same time which I could do on my own by myself without being dependent on anyone else. And I think running and trail running, but also being strong and seeing my dad being strong and doing all these kind of sports was definitely something that pushed me into that direction. And he also wanted me to be strong, to defend myself when I move out. And I did some sort of kickboxing. I found out about Muay Thai, Thai boxing. This is how I kind of got into Thailand and the whole Asian culture about it, which is because they do that kind of sport not only as a sport, but also as a cultural thing and as a dance, Thai boxing and all that kind of thing. So it just shifted my perspective on different sports, and I got more open towards other kinds of sports. Before that, I was very, very much drawn to being a soccer player, a professional soccer player, but there was way more to it in sports. So yeah.
Okay, so like I guess like um I guess the only reason why I asked about that part and aspect of it is because like the mental resilience and how you like bounce back is always all like it's everything, right? Because it's like the way that you're thinking and the way that you're pretty much going to continue to push yourself to keep on going. And I guess like for the athletes that we have, that I have met over my time, just like we've met, it's more so like getting to have the same mindset and to know that like even though there's going to be like a hard obstacle or something in the way, we could still get through it. But how is it that you continue to like, um, so here's a good one. How is the athlete go into your personal life? So I guess it is one, what I'm trying to say is like, how do you mix work and wanting to do athletics at the same time? Like, how do you balance that? How do you continue to work out? How do you fit it into your schedule, so per se?
Yeah, actually, that's a good thing you just said. I think it was a big, big hardship just to go to the first point again. It was a hard time. Like now it's easy to talk about it and to say, yeah, I was just injured and then I took a step back from soccer and I just did something else. It was a big deal for me at that point. I had to let go of something which was such a big part of my life at that point. And even though I didn't do it professionally, and I did play the second highest league in Austria in the end, which is something I'm proud of. My team was amazing, but it was super hard. And I think that's something very special and something very special each athlete has to go through at some point in their career, professional or not, to just deal with such situations and to look forward and accept it. There are always situations in life which you can't control, and the only way of how or what you can control is your response to it. So I think my response was just to find something else I'm passionate about, and I was super lucky to find something. And that's also how I kind of fit it into my daily life, because I am so passionate about it. I love doing sports. I love to do what I do. I love to train. And at the same time, it's hard. It's super hard as well. So when I think about my day, I usually get up at 4:30 in the morning. I have to get a coffee to wake up and try to get to the gym. I take my bike to the gym every morning for 30 minutes, get there, do my workout for 2 hours, just to be at work at 8 or 8:30 and be there for the next 8 hours. Sometimes I have another session after work. And then I get home, eat and sleep and repeat. So that's pretty much my daily life.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how it goes. And if you want something so bad and if you
That's
want
good.
to
That's
train,
good though. That's.
yeah, you kind of have
Oh,
to
I'm
fit it
sorry. I'm
in.
sorry. I didn't know it cut off.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
my
little,
bad.
it's good.
Is it delayed?
A little.
Oh, a little. My bad. That's why. Yeah, no, and that's super good. Like I really we're supposed to have routines, right? Like routines are everything so that we can continue to I don't know. I feel like a lot of times like being rushed into something um, that doesn't align is never good. So like aligning those things that are gonna make you feel mentally, physically well, like that's just the whole entire point of being an athlete. And I love that you do that. Like that's the whole point. Like I think that a lot of more people should focus more on. So like yeah, it might be quote unquote boring, but if you're enjoying the whole entire thing as you're doing it, then I think that that's the most important thing. Like it doesn't matter like as we know, all athletes don't get paid millions of dollars to just live by being an athlete. Like it could be just something that we incorporate into our lives and continue to be or collaborate in a different field as well. Better said, like it's okay for, of course, others to know what else is it that you do on instead of athletics, like instead of Hyrox, instead of working out, instead of hiking, like what is it that you actually collaborate with in a different sense? I know it's geophysicists, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sorry.
That's correct. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a seismologist. So I work for the Austrian Earthquake Service, and we analyze earthquakes and do a lot of scientific work, which I'm also very passionate about. It's always been a very, very extreme because not a lot of people know what it is, and not a lot of people know that we have earthquakes in Austria. But yeah, it's also something very special to me and something that I really enjoy doing. Apart from my sports career, I would say. And both
Right.
help each other because both are so different. And in my work, I'm very much thinking and sitting and doing a lot of brain work. And then in sports, I'm very physical about it. But on the other side, in my sports, I also, when I do something like Hyrox and I train really hard and I suffer a lot in my sessions, it also helps me to gain confidence when I'm on stage and have to present something for my work. So it helps each other a lot. And it is, sports, especially, is not only about the physical part, it's also about being confident more, or finding more resilience and consistency with it. You learn so much with it. So it's already worth doing something like it. So I always say you don't really have to, I don't care about earning money for what I do in Hyrox. it's because I love it and I love what it teaches me every day. And it shows me every day that I'm more capable of what I think I was yesterday. And I get stronger every day. And some days and periods I don't feel great, and it's fine because I still do what I do. And after that, I feel better, and that's already worth it for me. So
That's that's amazing. I was just waiting for it to like stop and then we can
same.
transition that. But that's amazing. Like that is so amazing. Like that is perfect. Like how do you okay, so this is a good question because I'm a science guy. I like science, but more so kinesiology, so the study of the human body, right? And the movements and all that stuff. But like how do you see the similarities between your uh like the study of earthquakes in comparison to the human individual? Is there any similarities? Obviously, we are time, space, matter, right? So there are like physic elements in our human body, but I want to see where your perspective is when it comes to that. That sounds
that's a that's a good
fun.
question. That's a good question. I've never thought about that, to be honest. I think for
Let's
me,
go. No,
yeah, blowing my mind here.
yeah.
um, I don't know.
Yeah.
I've always, for me, it was always interesting to study something. We as humans are so, it's, I mean, our earth and everything that happens on our earth and in our earth is something we can't really, we can control, but there also, it's such a power in there. And it's so interesting to find out what is in there. So our earth, how do we know what our earth is made of and what layers we have? We can't drill boreholes that are that deep. So we need some sort of science to find out about it. And just to that urge of finding out more about our earth and how it's made up of is as interesting to me as finding out what we as humans and like our body is capable of doing. So there's just this sort of interest to it. But I'm also generally, I've always been interested in the science things you do, just studying the body, studying like what it does, how we do it, how everything works together. It's just a big something that I can't wrap my head around sometimes. So it's very interesting too.
Yeah, no, we literally like the way I see it, and I say we is the way I see it is more so like what you're explaining is like it sounds like there's a power that's uncontrollable in the earth, and I mean you just never know what's going to happen, so it's like you just never know, like you just never know. It can happen, it could be a 6.2 what is it called, a 6.2 what do you guys call
Magnitude.
the magnitude, 6.2 magnitude or 7.4 magnitude, or it could be a 2.0 magnitude and nobody would pretty much feel it. But like with the body it's kind of the same thing. Like as long as we're operating on like a higher, depends on what frequency you're operating on. If you're higher on a higher frequency where you're like more in tune with yourself and you're more focused on where you got to go, this is my perspective, and you're at your highest chain where you're just doing everything right. And people will say, oh, you can't do everything right. Well, yes you can, if you're not doing any harm to nobody and you're doing what you have to do and you're staying locked in and you're staying focused, right? Everything is going to be how it's supposed to be. And if you're operating from a place of grief, or of a place of, whatever the case may be, or sickness or illness or family loss or, financial, anything that has to do with the world, then you're probably not going to be focused so much on what you have to do, but you're going to do everything it takes to do what you have to do to get where you got to go. So that's why humanity is so amazing, because it doesn't matter what position that we're in, we're going to find a way to get through it. And I think that that's the most important, like the most amazing thing that I've realized in the human body is that like you could hold on to a couple of things. Like if you're in recovery mode, for example, and you sprain an ankle and you don't massage it out and you don't get the fluids moving and you don't, fix the ankle and make sure that it's in the right position, right? So that when you're taking steps or running at this case, right? For Hyrox, like then you probably don't have the right gait or your hip is out of line. So like everything could be misaligned if you're not aligned with your body. So I feel like the input that we must put into our body must be the same exact everything that we put in is what we're gonna externally like attract pretty much. So I don't know how that compares to Earth, but I do know that Earth is extremely powerful. And if it can hold us all down as humans due to its gravity law, then we can't underestimate ourselves, just like we can't underestimate Earth. That's the whole wraparound.
I love that. That's so well said. Yes, I love everything about it. That's great. And also it's a law of
Yeah.
physics. Whatever you put in, you get out. So it's just the, how do you say, conservation of energy. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Easily said. There is a lot of parallels, I would say. Yeah.
Do you naturally like so okay, so explain to us a little bit how many so nobody knows that Austria gets earthquakes. So now is this information that you can share? Are we allowed to share this?
No.
Yeah,
Yes,
no.
yeah, we no, this is something very interesting and nice to share actually. We do in just in Austria, which is just a little country, we have over 1,000 earthquakes each year. Most of them are so small that they're not
Wow.
felt, but on average, I think it's almost 1 or 2 earthquakes a week, which are felt by people in Austria. Obviously, there are some hotspots in specific areas, especially along the Alps or Alpine regions where you have cracks still and all the plate and tectonic plates in the Alps are still moving, which is why there are always some movements inside. And so we do have a lot of earthquakes. Most of them are very small, and if they're felt, they don't cause any damage. But just 2 years ago, when I started working at the earthquake service, we had a quite strong earthquake, which was a 4.2 magnitude one. And there were a lot of damages on the buildings. People, like hundreds of people felt it. We get all the reports from the people. They were super scared. We had a series of earthquakes after that, aftershocks. So we do get them, and it's very important to talk about it, obviously. And also, we also analyze global earthquakes and earthquakes from neighboring countries. So we have a lot of work to do.
So is there like a system in place to know more about Earth's depth when it comes to like how it's moving, I guess?
I mean,
I guess
there,
so the Earth is rotating, right? Like every single day it's rotating every single day. Like, do the tectonic plates have like? Do you guys read any of that? Like, or I don't know. I guess I'm a little new
yeah,
to it, so my questions could be like a little like ah.
no, it totally makes sense. It's more about in our Earth we have different layers, and they have a different consistency. I don't know how to the like our Earth's plates are pretty much the outermost layer of our Earth, and they're rigid, so they are separated into different plates, and they move on a very fluid mantle. And due to the fact that it's fluid, it can move on top of it and can cause through the movement um, some stresses along it. And that's where we have, for example, most of the strongest earthquakes. For example, Japan is um, along cracks or places where plates move along each other, and that's why we get the earthquakes. It's when they move towards each other or underneath each other, along each other, and then there's lots of stress caused, which can then be released, and that's how earthquakes happen. So that's what we see, but we cannot forecast them. So there's no way to tell when it happens because it's such a complex system that it's impossible to say anything about it. That's why it's so important to find out more about it and to adapt to
Yeah.
earthquakes. Have strong buildings. Like in Japan, they don't really care about this magnitude 6 earthquake because they know exactly what to do in such a case. So that's very important.
So they're more educated in the sense of knowing that it's like they're more aware of it. So they're
Yeah.
more a little bit more educated about it. 1,000 earthquakes in Austria is a lot, though. That's a lot.
Yeah. All very small. I mean, but still, there's daily analysis of them, and we get data from our network every day, 24/7, and we analyze it, and we have lots of small earthquakes, which we see on our data. So it's a lot, yeah. A lot of
Okay.
movement.
Okay, so a lot of movement. Now let's talk about into the movement that you are going into when it comes to your athletic career. Where do you see the next like 2 years of athletics for you, and what are your goals for the next upcoming years?
Yeah, that's a good question. I just thought about that recently. Like last week, I got back from Stockholm. In Stockholm, we went to the big World Championships of Hyrox, which was just incredible to be there. Such a great experience. Something I will definitely never forget again. It was very, very amazing, very great to be there for me. And yeah, after such a big event, you always come back, and it's a big deal. It's something you've worked for a very, very long time, for months, for weeks, for days of training and training and training. And then suddenly it's over, and you kind of have to find a new goal or a new thing to work towards. So I've been thinking a lot about it, and yes, I don't know. I think my next big goal is again to qualify for the next World Championship, which will be in Hong Kong next year. So that will be a big deal.
Ooh,
Yes, let's go. Hyrox is
let's
getting bigger and
go.
bigger. Yeah, there are more and more
It really
amazing
is.
athletes. Yes, and it'll definitely also get harder to qualify just due to the fact that the field gets stronger and stronger, which is amazing too. I just like in Stockholm, I was on the starting line with 20 other women that you could just see the fire in their eyes, and they were just burning to run and get that race done. And we were all there, and we were all just cheering and pushing each other, and from the start to the finish. It was such a great atmosphere to be there, and you could feel the passion behind each and every one of them. And that was I was just blown away by the energy of it all. And I can tell that this is it's going to get bigger, and it's going to get a lot more competitive as well with it. But I love everything about it. I love the competition, and I love that we push each other. I love the community and the energy. So I'm excited to see what next year brings, and if I can qualify again. And I'm very excited to work on the things I'm not as good yet, and on the things I can improve. There's always something you can improve, which is fun. So that's definitely one of my next goals. But yeah, let's see.
Let's go, Sophie. Let's go.
Yes.
I'll be cheering for you from here, and we'll be cheering for you from here as well. I'm pretty sure people are going to cheer from you, for you, especially your close friends and stuff, and the trainers. But can you describe for the people, since Hyrox is growing so much, can you differentiate if if you know Hyrox in comparison to CrossFit? I kind of want to know what the difference is here. I haven't really done my research on what the difference is. You tell me as strength training and running. I'm thinking CrossFit is more so weights and courses, but I mean,
hmm
you've done Hyrox. I don't know if you've done CrossFit before, but if you have any differentials, can you share?
Yes. I have to be careful now because my coach is a big CrossFitter. So I'm not going to say anything bad about. No, I'm kidding. I love CrossFit.
Right.
No, CrossFit. I got to Hyrox through CrossFit, so I'm a big fan of CrossFit as well. And I have a huge respect for CrossFitters. I think the biggest difference between both
Yes.
is that CrossFit is a lot of skill based, so you have to know how to do pull-ups and push-ups and handstand push-ups and handstand walking push-ups, and I don't know what else, muscle ups, all the things they do. Then it is a lot of weightlifting and thrusters and clean and jerks and all these um, things they learn, and a lot of gymnastics as well. And that was always something which held me back from starting to do CrossFit, because I always like to do strength training and become strong, but I've never been a very big athlete when it comes to gymnastics. Then I learned about Hyrox, and
Got it.
Hyrox is very simple, I would say. You have 8 stations, and you go through all 8 stations, and in between you always have 1 kilometer of running. So it starts with 1K run, and then you get to the first station, and that you do just 8 times. And all the stations are simple. You don't really have to know any skills. It's, for example, you go to the ski arc, you do 1 kilometer of skiing or rowing. You have the sled, which you have to push or pull. Or farmer's carry, where you carry 2 kettlebells, burpee broad jumps. Everyone knows how to do a burpee. And in the end, you have the wall balls, which you have to throw, or you have to do lunges. So it's something which can be learned quite quickly. And that's what I liked about it a lot, because everyone can do it. And that's so special and fun about Hyrox, because when you get to a race, you see 16-year-old girls and boys who do it, but also 80-year-old women and men who start and do it. So it's something very connecting, and everyone cheers for each other, and everyone can do it. And that's what I liked about it, because I'm very much someone who is very much into doing something repeatedly all over again. So my programming of my coach, sometimes we would do the same thing for a few weeks, and I love everything about it because I know exactly what I get myself into. And Hyrox is always the same setup. It's always the same thing. You always know what's going to happen, and you always know what you have to improve. So it's very simple, but still very challenging. It never gets easier. You get better, but then you push harder, and you still get into that pain cave and suffer a lot. So yeah, that's the beauty about it, I think.
And I think I would like to take this moment to encourage a lot of people to like see that age gap from teenagers all the way to 80, 85 potentially, who knows, maybe even older. And if you are like wanting to like switch a sport, there's no timeline to it. And if you want to try something new because you saw it on a trendy, nice video on Instagram or any other social media, then, feel free to try it, build a community. And I mean, it sounds like you're definitely enjoying it, honestly. And that's a good thing. Can you tell everybody like what position did you place in the competition?
In the one in Stockholm, or generally?
Yes.
In Stockholm, I don't know, I think I was ranked 64 of 120. So I was a good midfield right there.
That's really good.
Yes.
That's really good.
Yes,
Was there high competition?
Yes, I mean, it was insane. Usually when I went to my last race, which I did, was in Bangkok, and I went on a training camp for 3 weeks on the fitness street in Phuket, where I met a lot of
this one. We talked before this one.
Yes, yeah. And we talked before this one. Then I did my first ever Hyrox in Bangkok. That was last year. And that was already crazy. So that was really my very first race. But then just recently, a few months ago, I did my second race in Bangkok, which was a pro race. And that's how I qualified for the World Championships, because you have to place or be ranked first in your age group. So I did my first pro race in Bangkok, got first on that day, and suddenly I was qualified for Stockholm, which was crazy. Something I'd never expected. Yeah, it was insane.
Wow.
And it was already very competitive there, but Stockholm was a totally different game. It was just they picked the best of all races during the whole season and put them all together into one venue and let them race against each other. It was insane. It was just a great experience.
Wow. So it'd be something sort of like club in comparison. Like for volleyball, what we do is like there's multiple tournaments, right? You got like 9 or 10 tournaments, and then there's like 4 tournaments, or depending on the team, there's more tournaments that qualify you to get to USAV is what it's called, like a USAV. So it's a national where all teams come and however they ranked. And then the same thing they do down here in Florida is where they do the whole big, and anybody can join that one as long as they make the payment. But for the one that is a USAV, you have to qualify for it. So it sounds like it's like very similar, but it's more like just individually. Now, my question is, do you represent your country? Because you said world. You said world. World Cup. No, you didn't say World Cup. You
World
said
Championship. Yeah, but it's like a World Cup.
World Championship.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
So
So are you representing your country at that point?
yeah, when you go to a race like the one in Bangkok, you usually sign up um like with your nationality. So I would sign up as Austrian, and then when I win my age group, I get qualified for Worlds, and then I represent my country with a bunch of other athletes who also won in their age group and in their races. So in the end, you have a group of people. We were like, I don't know how many we were, a bunch of people in Stockholm, and we met there, and we were all like the Austrian community, and we got to walk in. We had the walking of nations where you wear your shirt with your name on it and with the country on it and with your flag, get to walk into the stadium and just represent the country in
Right.
that competition, which is amazing. Yeah, it's great.
How does it, okay. And how does it feel to like, Puerto Ricans are very like prideful. I'm Puerto Rican, so we'll wear our flag. Well, I think, wait, didn't you meet me with the Puerto Rican flag, maybe,
Could
on
be.
my head?
Yes. Yes, it could be. Yeah.
The bandana? Yes, maybe?
Yes,
I don't
I think
remember.
so.
But maybe.
But when we were at the Walking of Nations and we were walking in as Austrians, there were also Puerto Rico as a country walking in, and they were going crazy and being very like cheerful and celebrating. It was great to see.
She saw some Puerto Ricanness, people. She saw some Puerto Ricanness.
Yeah.
That's amazing. But okay, so that's awesome. So like I guess transitioning more towards like personal life. How do you feel like athletics and sports have provided you with opportunities in the world of business?
Also a good question. I think overall, what I learned through sports and just playing soccer and also doing all sorts of sports training so much and diving into that mindset of going through hard things, you get very resilient over time, I think. And you gain confidence, because confidence isn't something that you were born with. It's more like you you earn it by keeping promises to yourself, by saying, I want to go to the gym and I want to get stronger, and then you keep on promising but also keeping that promise to yourself. And um same with work. When I went into work, I there are days where you don't want to work, and there are moments where things aren't fun, but you just have to keep going. And like I said earlier, sometimes life isn't easy, it can be hard, but it's still your control how you respond to it and how you deal with it, what kind of perspective you get on it, and what you can draw out of it for yourself. So yeah, I think that's for me the biggest takeaway from it, that it's always fun and always cool to be into new situations. Like doing that podcast right now is a big example, which years ago would have been so scared about it, and you've always find ways of not wanting to do it. But when I heard about it, obviously I was like, oh, I've never done that before. But at the same time, over time, I got so addicted to situations like that, which forced me to grow, that I just love it. And I love to throw myself into situations like that, because they get less and less over time, because you get so much more confident. And it's, for me, it's a sort of freedom and independency to always find myself again and think, oh my gosh, I just totally earned that. And how cool is that, that I just did that by myself, that I just did a huge solo trip through Southeast Asia by myself, that I just moved to a new country by myself. I just did that on my own. And I think that's something that especially athletes can refer to, because there are so many hard times in between where it's hard to keep going, but you keep going and you show up for yourself, and just prove to yourself that you can do anything if you want to, and if you want to put work into it.
And I think that's like the best closing ever. Honestly, that was like I can't even say anything about that. That's it. And honestly, that's Sophie, and she's an amazing human being. And I appreciate you for being on here, and I appreciate you for staying in contact with me. And every single time I'd see you level up, and we'd like each other's stuff, and we'd message from time to time. I just want to let you know that keep going. Keep going. I want to be able to meet you one day again on the other side of the world, and we'll shake hands and say, "Do you remember back in 2026 when we did that? That podcast? That's amazing."
Yeah,
Hopefully, you
thank
can be as
you.
well like a part of our community. With like, I'm sorry, I wasn't finished with community. Hopefully, you can be a part of our community with female athletes as well that want to continue to build their mindset, that want to continue to build their physique, that also need the mentorship or the perspective from somebody that's on the other side of the world, especially like when you mention like solo traveling. I keep getting that where I'm seeing a lot of females that are scared to solo travel. So like building confidence, like you say, is the only way that you're going to continue to experience new things and be okay with it. And it might feel uncomfortable for a little bit, but after a day or two, it literally goes away. So like if you can, if you definitely accept the invite of being a part of the community, which you already are, I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, I love that. I that's also something I want to say again, that yeah, just trust in yourself. Do that solo trip, start that sport, do whatever you feel like you want to do. I just recently talked to a woman who was coming up to me and asking me about my Hyrox training and stuff like that, and that she's thought about doing a solo Hyrox for such a long time, and she doesn't know if she should do it. And I it's like, just try it, give it a try, do it. Nothing can go wrong. Trust in yourself, and you will see that it will all work out. Like, there's nothing that can go wrong. And I love to help people just to do that first step, just to be a little brave, because there's so much to earn from it. And so also thank you for letting me be on your podcast, helping me to have another one of these experiences, which are very intimidating in the beginning, but end up being super fun. So I just learned that I love being on your podcast. I would totally do that again. And we should, maybe we meet each other again in Thailand and we'll do a double race in Hyrox. You would be someone who would be really good in it. Never say never.
Okay.
Okay.
Never say. Okay. I'll do that. I'm writing that down. I'm taking that
Okay.
one. Yeah, I accept the challenge.
All right. Love it.
I'm ready. Yeah. For the closing, I just wanted to let you guys know, thank you for tuning in. For those who listen, those who are going to watch, those who are going to see and ask questions, I just want to let you know that I am open to answer those questions. Just send me a DM. And I wanted to let you also, oh wait, sorry. I also wanted to ask you before we go, what are 3 brands that you would enjoy being affiliated with on your athletic journey? Yeah.
Like brands, like, you mean Adidas?
Yeah.
Yes, I mean my biggest dream is to be working with Adidas. That's always what I say all the time. Adidas is like such a big thing for me. I love Saucony, which are they produce the
Yeah.
best shoes ever, and Nike. I think these are my 3 biggest brands which I love. So dream big.
Let's go.
Let's
We'll see
go.
you we'll see you shortly. We'll see you shortly with those deals. For
Yeah,
real.
I'm already wearing it, so just come up.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah. But it was a pleasure. I'm going to go ahead and sign off and say thank you.
Thank you too.